This must be the most handsome zombie Doctor Strange. On this day, Stephen was attending the wedding of his beloved Christine. Watching his beloved dance with another man, Stephen felt very uneasy. At this moment, the commotion outside caught Stephen's attention, and he immediately made the best transformation of the scene. A bus suddenly flew into the air, and Stephen cast a spell to reveal the monster. It turned out to be a big-eyed octopus monster. The monster was chasing a little girl. Then, Wong also joined the battle. Finally, through their efforts, they managed to defeat the monster. What puzzled Stephen was that this little girl was the same girl from his dream last night. But the little girl said it was not a dream. It actually happened in another universe, and she brought them along. We went to see the body of Stephen who had crossed over with us. It turned out that in another universe, there were even more terrifying monsters chasing the little girl. The monster was so strong that even Stephen, who was already a supreme sorcerer, could not defeat it. Seeing that the monster was about to break free from its restraints, Stephen wanted to directly take the girl's power. At the most dangerous moment, the little girl unleashed the power within her and opened the portal. Stephen, at the last moment, used his remaining strength to save the little girl and return to Universe 1. Stephen decided to first take away the Stephen from Universe 2. Here, after settling the little girl, Stephen sought Wanda's help. However, to Stephen's surprise, she tried to manipulate Stephen by creating a beautiful world using dark magic spell. Knowing she was exposed, she waved her hand, and the beautiful forest turned into something like hell. It turned out that Wanda was using dark magic. It was Wanda who arranged for the monster to chase the little girl. He wanted to obtain the little girl's ability to travel through the multiverse, so he could fulfill his wish of truly having children. Wanda unleashed her full power and launched an attack on the temple alone. In the end, the temple could not withstand. Wanda, who had mastered the Darkhold, was too powerful. Under Stephen's temptation, Wanda fell into a trap. This is a rebound magic trap. However, it cannot trap the powerful Wanda. She escaped the rebound trap in an extremely twisted form. Stephen had no choice but to take action against Wanda. However, she was no match for Wanda. Just as Wanda was extracting the girl's power, the girl once again activated her ability to travel through dimensions. Seizing the opportunity, Stephen took the girl and traveled to Universe 3. Upon arrival, Stephen began digging. The two arrived at the Temple of Universe 3, only to find that the Stephen of this universe was already dead, as indicated by the statues. The Stephen of this universe sacrificed himself in the battle against Thanos. At this moment, the temple doors opened, and the Sorcerer Supreme of this universe turned out to be Baron Mordo. You should know that Mordo from Universe 1 and Stephen are arch-enemies. Sure enough, after drinking a cup of tea, both of them started feeling dizzy. Meanwhile, Wanda also started using it. The awakening magic from the Darkhold. This magic allows Wanda to directly control the consciousness of her other selves in different universes. Body of the universe. The moment Wanda saw the two children, her eyes were already moist. In Universe 1, a surviving sorcerer forcibly destroyed the Darkhold while Wanda was casting a spell. However, the cost was the life of this magician. The destruction of the Darkhold also caused Wanda's magic to fail and break. So, Wanda used the remaining life of Master Mace to threaten Wong to tell him about the Darkhold. It turned out that what Wanda had before was just a copy. The real Darkhold was on the cliff of Mount Wundagore. At this moment, Mordo brought a group of Ultron robots to take Stephen to meet the leaders of the Illuminati. In Universe 1, Wanda brought Wong to Mount Wundagore and obtained the true Darkhold. Here, Universe 3, Stephen comes before the Illuminati, who are Mordo, Captain Carter, Black Bolt, and Captain Thorne. It turns out that this universe's Stephen did not sacrifice himself while fighting Thanos. Instead, because Stephen used the Darkhold without permission, it led to the destruction of the entire universe. In the end, voluntarily executed by the Black Axe King, Wanda from Universe 1 regained control of the Darkhold and resumed her dream-walking magic. These Ultron robots were no match for Wanda. However, when the four superheroes of the Illuminati confidently came to deal with Wanda, two were instantly killed at the start. Captain Carter also uttered that classic line. However, he is about to become the captain of the upper and lower teams, and the flag captain was also crushed to death by the statue. On the other side, the professor was also defeated in the duel with Wanda. The three of them stumbled all the way and finally arrived at the Book of the Mountains, which contains magic to counter the Darkhold. Unexpectedly, Wanda also arrived at the Mountain of the Secret Darkhold and gained control of America's power. She beat Doctor Strange easily using her power and sent them back to the first universe. Here, the two people from Universe 4 discovered that this universe was collapsing, so they went to the temple and found Stephen from Universe 4. However, unexpectedly, the Stephen from this universe was actually in control of the Darkhold. This Stephen, who controlled the Darkhold, had been harming other Stephens from different universes, causing this universe to backfire and collapse immediately. So the two began to fight over the Darkhold, and in the end, Steven used a small note to counterattack and win. Steven then started using the Darkhold to perform dreamwalking magic, which led to the appearance of the coolest zombie Doctor Strange at the beginning. Regarding Steven using the dreamwake technique, the little girl finally learned to control her power and began to confront Wanda. However, he found that he still could not defeat Wanda, so he used his ability to bring Wanda before the children of Universe 3. In the face of reality, Wanda finally realized that she was not the mother of other people's children. The Wanda of Universe 3 also forgave her. In the end, Wanda chose to stay with the Darkhold. The little girl also became a sorcerer and stayed in the temple. Steven, because he used the Darkhold, ended up with a third eye.